Hello, everybody, and welcome to the True Love Talk channel. Here we want to learn about human sexuality and love based on the teachings that Pope John Paul II left in the Theology of the Body. I am Elisa, and today's topic is truth, reality, and its relationship with freedom. So, let's begin. Okay, so what is truth, what is reality, and why does freedom depend on truth and reality? So, first of all, reality is how things are. Okay? Things are how they are, and that is what makes them real. That's it. Truth, on the other hand, is the comprehension that we human beings do about reality. Because it is a comprehension, it has a subjective element. Indeed, we need a subject understanding reality to have truth. But truth is, in essence, objective because it depends on reality. It doesn't depend on our perception of it. It depends on how things are. If I understand something other or different to what reality is, then I am not understanding the truth. I am just in a mistake. I am mistake. That is how it is. So there is no such thing as your truth and my truth and our version of the truth. No, there is only one version of the truth because there is only one reality. However, when one proposes the idea of truth being one and unchangeable and absolute, basically the modern individual starts having not a panic attack, an allergic reaction. People get an allergic reaction nowadays when others say that truth may be absolute. And this allergy obeys to the perception that people who propose truth as an absolute want to take away their freedom and want complete control over their own lives. And that is why it is so scary. But it can also be explained by the fact that throughout history, science has changed theories quite a lot. When this happens, it's not that first we have one truth and then now we have this second truth. What happens there is that scientists may be wrong. We can make mistakes. And the theory before this new theory was just not true. It was a lie. We weren't really understanding how life is and how reality works. And it's simply some scientists saying, hey, we're mistaken. This is actually the real truth or the actual truth. Okay, imagine what happened when Christopher Columbus proved that the earth was round. When people believed that the earth was flat, the earth was still round. It was always round. Christopher Columbus did not make the earth round. All he did was show us that we were misunderstanding reality, that we understood was actually not real, and that we needed to change our understanding to something accurate and that actually depicted reality. That is why I don't like the sentence or the question that empirists usually do. And the question is, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it fall, did it really fall? Yes, yes, it did fall. Because trees don't need human beings to fall; they can fall on their own. Actually, the universe does not need us, and we can all die in peace because the universe will survive without us. If the human species stop existing, the universe can continue existing without the slightest problem. And honestly, it's very narcissistic of us to believe that if we're not there understanding the universe stops is existence, no, it stops existing or something like that. This is not true. However, nowadays people are convinced that if they can create a version of the truth, which is obviously not a truth because truth does not have versions, it is how it is. But people believe that they can create their own truths, and if they convince enough people, and people reach to a consensus in which they say that yes, that is indeed the truth, then truth has changed. And the truth is that reality does not operate by democracy. If we decided to abolished the law of gravity, right? And we held world elections, and we won the elections by 100% of the votes, and we decided to abolish the law of gravity. And indeed, in every constitution of every country, it is written that the law of gravity is still abolished and that therefore our tea should never spill again. That doesn't change anything. Truth is, the next morning, the tea will still be able to spill. If we were absurd enough to pretend or to think that we managed something by winning the election, and we went to the tallest building of our town, and we jumped from the tallest floor of that building to celebrate floating that the law of gravity has been abolished, the most we can achieve is a mass suicide. Nothing else would happen because gravity does not care if we like it or not. Gravity is not going to sit down and cry because it lost the election. It is not going to be offended and go live in another planet because here she is not appreciated or anything like that. Things are how they are, and if we like them, that's great, and if we don't like them, it's just as great, honestly, because nobody's really asking. Now, to the question of why do reality and truth make our freedom possible? The thing is, only when I understand that when I do A, I get B as a result, I can choose if I want B. And if I want it, I can do A, or if I don't want it, I can do no A, right? I don't do A. That is what allows us to decide and to make decisions and to choose what is going to happen in our lives. And for that to happen, we need reality and truth to be independent from human will and from human consensus and from human desire. Imagine that I wanted to go to Switzerland to ski in the Alps, right? And I buy my ticket to Switzerland and I buy my skis. But before I land, the post stations in Switzerland decide that building in the mountains is very expensive, so they want to move the Alps like a little bit to Asia, into Asia, or at least somewhere that is not Switzerland, because honestly, it's messing with their budget. And this was a possibility. They could actually change reality because they have reached a consensus. The moment I land in Switzerland, I found a valley and I'll never be able to ski there, right? What guarantees that I can ski in Switzerland if I can pay the plane ticket and I can pay the skis? That nobody can choose if the Alps are there or not. That nobody can choose, no matter if nobody likes me and they still want to spite me and they don't want me to go, and they want to ruin my trip. They cannot, because the Alps have to stay there, because the consensus and their desires and human will does not change anything. And that is what allows us to be free and what allows us to choose how to live and how to continue. in what and how to do whatever we want to do. Truth being absolute and reality being unchangeable is what actually guarantees our freedom. This idea that I've been talking about of the modern individual having an allergic reaction to the idea of truth being absolute is very well explained with the concept of post-truth. The post-truth, once you understand post-truth, you understand why are people so afraid, so annoyed? Could be, yeah, annoyed could be a good way to go about the truth being an absolute. And this is what we're going to analyze on the next video. It was great. I am very glad that you decided to stay until the end of the video. If you have any question or any comment, you can write it in the comment and you can write it in the comment section. I will try to answer it as soon as possible. And yeah, so that was it. See you in a week from now. Have a nice day and lots of blessings for everybody.